potential. So does XRP have any potential? Should you still buy XRP at the current zone? Well, from the look of things, you see that XRP is actually in the accumulation zone, right? This zone is actually where the last time XRP accumulated. If I scroll all the way here, you see the accumulation that took place for a very long time, and we had a breakout. We had a pre-breakout tension where the 20 exponential average guided price out of the consolidation, and we had a very strong buy. Right now, the thing about breakout is that breakout, there's always a retest, right? A retest of the breakout point, and that's what we're seeing here. And it's unfortunate that the breakout retest happened at the same time that the news about XRP and the SEC having problem in terms of lawsuits about XRP getting sued. When I look at this whole news and I look at the chart, I see something different, right? Because even though we have the news, right, from the power, the strength of the news, from the weight the news carried, I was expecting more dump than this, right? I was expecting more sell-off than this. But as you can see that even if I go to the higher time frame, right, you find out that XRP is still bullish on the monthly chart. XRP is still bullish on the weekly chart. So let's look at the monthly chart and you see what I'm talking about, right? Look at the monthly chart and you see that there's still a lot of support right here, and there's still chances of XRP moving sideways here and taking off again. So it is likely we have that if XRP doesn't close on the monthly below this bull bar, this breakout bull bar, then it is likely going to pull up. It's going to pull up. So this makes this chart very, very still bullish. So what we are looking at here, we could see a pull up to this resistance, right? And I expect this resistance to react. This resistance right here around the around the 0.58. So what I'm expecting is, I'm expecting the bounce off from this accumulation zone. So I'm expecting XRP to retest the 0.5 zone. So we're back to the 4 hours chart. So we're going to see, because if I pull closer, if I zoom in, you find out that on the 4-hour chart that XRP is still respecting this trend line, right? Since the last touch of this support, XRP is still respecting this trend line, right? So we're likely going to see it holding the support at this my purple zone, right? So if it doesn't hold it, then we are likely going to see it retest the low of this low. So for the buy signal to work at this point, we need a higher low, right? We need a change in market structure. That's what we need on the 4 hours. So if we likely see our higher low just here at 0.29, between 0.29 and 0. Let's say 0.29 and 0.3, right? That will be our entry, right? So to target around this 0.5, right? Because if you look closely, you find out that it's still on the sideways, right? After the retest, right? So we are expecting it to go sideways, give us some accumulation. We need some accumulation. We need some accumulation in this zone to give us the strength that XRP needs to actually retest this 0.5 to 0.55 zone. So I'm expecting buy pressure to start building up in this zone. So I expect some sideways movement. There will be a kind of a pause in this zone. That's what I'm expecting. And so far, we're already seeing some higher low. But first, it's not confirmed if entry for a buy is safe yet. What is the potential I see in XRP? Do I see XRP going still going, have some potential in 2021 with everything that has happened in the end of 2020, with all the lawsuit and all the news that's flying around about XRP? Well, in my opinion, by the fear, right? Buy the fear. When people are fearful, that's when you buy. When people are greedy, be fearful. When everybody, like, if you notice, that's what happened here in XRP. Everybody was greedy. Everybody was like, buy XRP at this current zone. You know, everybody was calling 1.5. Everybody was greedy, right? And you see the retest was strong to come to retest the beginning. So if you're a second breakout entry, I see this zone is likely going to have a more strong buyers waiting to buy in this second breakout entry, right? So we are likely going to see more buyers here, like whales buying XRP, buying this dump, buying this news that everybody is scared of. I see whales buying, and if that buy strength is so strong, we could see this breakout on the fourth test of this trend line. We could see a strong breakout to the upside, and this time around we could see XRP testing the ETH all-time high. You understand? I'm talking about over $1, right? That's when we are going to see Bitcoin as well making its move to the high side, right? So we are likely going to see the reaction on this descending triangle, upper resistance, right? So hang on, because we are likely going to take this trade with you. If you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe. If you have anything you want to ask, any question about XRP, feel free to comment in the comment section. I will reply. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for turning on. Please leave your comments. Subscribe so that you get notification whenever we are having live analysis like this. So today we are spending this Boxing Day with XRP. XRP has a big surprise in store for you, right? Because as you see, this is the second breakout, retest of the breakout, right? So the first breakout has strong, if I go to the daily chart, you see the strong breakout, right? Now this retest is going to be twice as strong as the first breakout, right? Why? Because it has come back to the last place where it was. So if you notice what happened, you found that here is happened to be our neckline, right? This is our neckline, right? Because you see we have something that look like inverse head and shoulder. So we have something that look like an inverse head and shoulder. Now an inverse head and shoulder is a bullish pattern, right? It's just the opposite of head and shoulder, but most times an inverse head and shoulder always lead to a reversal, right? So we're seeing a reversal, a trend reversal taking place in XRP. Now mind you, while other coins have been pumping and doing good for quite some time in 2020, XRP hasn't really made any strong move to the upside. Telling you that XRP is cooking, and those people, those traders who were skeptical about buying XRP the first time when XRP broke out to the upside, are likely going to buy this pullback. And this is not a reversal. I don't see this as a big sell-off that could change everything for XRP, because for the first time I see change in XRP, right? So what I'm about to show you now is the market structure of XRP. Let's discuss the current market structure of XRP. So if I look at the daily chart, it gets very interesting here. So what I'm looking at right here is a bullish pattern known as the inverse head and shoulder, right? So what you have here is the left shoulder, right? So when the left shoulder is occurring, there's always a very low volume, and you can also see the downside of our bar. You see this very flat volume. There's no volume at all, right? And when the head is forming, it tends to have a little volume too with it, which we have a little volume as the head is forming, right? So but when the right shoulder form, the breakout of the right shoulder has to break out with a strong volume, right? So you see our right shoulder, right? So when it came here, it hit the neckline, and the volume was not enough to break it out, right? So for it to even give us a real tangible buy signal, we need to have accumulation, right? So you can see the accumulation going on in the left shoulder, in the right shoulder. And not just that, we started seeing a higher low in terms of market structure, right? From here, we started seeing a change in market structure, right? So if I connect the highs, see, this is getting now interesting, right? So for a trend line to be valid, we need at least 2 touches, right? So we have our first touch here, right? We have another touch here, and if I zoom in, you're going to see another touch. Just that is exactly what happened. So you see that we have this 2-bar reversal just on the trend line, right? So telling you that the trend line is still holding up, right? Telling you that the bull run is not over, telling you that the bull run is likely going to hold to the upside, right? So this is the surprise that XRP is likely going to have for you. It's the fact that it holds this trend line, right? So we have it holding this trend line all the way from here. And if price doesn't break this trend line, it's likely going to shoot to the upside and take everybody that have sold their coin, their XRP, by surprise. So you're seeing the possibilities that we have in XRP, right? So we could have it go sideways and break out on this side, right? Or we could have it take off. Like if this trend line holds up, we could have a flying ripple in our hands. We could have bulls buying this pullback to cover the entire sell-off, right? So what we are expecting is that when we have this pullback, it is going to keep respecting this trend line, this our green trend line. So that will be our buy entry zone, right around this zone. So we're likely going to see the pullback stop at 0.26 zone to 0.25 zone. So we could get a buy entry in this zone for a pull up. So let's not go beyond ourselves. Let me not jump the gun. I know that likely we're going to have the first target will be around 0.55. Thank you for spending Boxing Day with me and XRP. Thank you for tuning in. Kindly support, leave your comments below. Welcome back. Sorry, I had to take a break to fix myself. So we are on live today, 26th of December 2020, Boxing Day, and we are unboxing XRP surprise for you for 2021. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe so that you will never miss any of these analysis, daily altcoin analysis, altcoin news, altcoin recommendation. We also make tutorials on how to read chart, how to become a consistently successful trader. If you have not subscribed, subscribe so that you wouldn't miss any of our videos. Once it's posted, you're going to get alert and notifications sent to your email directly. Thank you for liking. If you find this video helpful, like and support us. If you have any questions, I am open to answering them live. All you need to do is comment in the comment section below and I will reply you live. As we can see, XRP is back into the consolidation zone, which also happened to be the accumulation zone, right? The accumulation area, so which also has a lot of support behind it. So where XRP is now, we are not going to be seeing much dump coming its way, right? So we are likely going to be seeing it coming to retest at worst this support around this 0.18, right? That is the worst support that is going to happen. So because of why? Because of this inverse head and shoulder, it is still holding our trend line, right? So it is still holding up, so meaning the chart is still bullish, right, on the upside. But since we are accumulating, we are likely going to be buying more. So my buy zone is likely this zone. So this is the entry on this trend line, and we're targeting the top of the descending triangle, more or less. I shouldn't even be calling it descending triangle, because if I should use this our green line, it is now a triangle and not a descending triangle. When I call it a descending triangle, I am considering this this support line, right? And for a descending triangle, mostly the breakout is on the downside, but I'm not expecting the breakout to be on the downside, so I'm likely using this green line to form our lower support of the triangle. So we are having a triangle here, right, instead of a descending triangle. So we are not using this support as our descending triangle support. But you can also see that the possibility of that happening is high, because price has retested exactly the same support, thereby making double bottom, right? You see it here. You see this low here, and this low is actually on the same height. So we're having double bottom in this zone. Thank you for joining us. Happy Boxing Day. Happy holiday. Hopefully the holiday is a good day for you and you're having fun with family. XRP has a lot of potentials hidden. The news that we heard about XRP, it's unfortunate that XRP company is going through tough time right now with the SEC. and the threat about the lawsuit has led, accompanied by the retest of this breakdown, the breakout point, the retest of it, accompanied by it. That's why we saw this big red candle. So the question everybody is asking is, are we going to see more sell-off on SRP? Well, at the current zone, there's a lot of support, which means the sellers have to battle this accumulation zone. So price cannot easily pierce through this accumulation zone, because resistance and support, resistance broken is now support, right? So you see that price is likely going to pull above this zone. It's just below it, so I'm expecting price to pull above it. So you can see that our trend line is being respected, telling you that even though we saw that dump, it is more or less a retest of the breakout. So if SRP broke through this green trend line, it means that the trend has changed, but as you can see, it is still respecting the market structure. So you can see it is still respecting the market structure, right? So you saw when it tested and broke the low of here, you see it instantly pull up, right? You can see the instant pull up to test the 20 exponential moving average. So as long as price is respected, and you can see how price is sitting on that trend line, right? See price sitting on that trend line and formed a bullish engulfing that covered all the price and instantly pulled back up to the top of the resistance, right? Making it a support, right? Remember, here it was a resistance, it broke through it here, and it came back to retest that breakdown. So that's what I'm saying, though. Even though the news is hitting everywhere about this lawsuit on SRP, I see a lot of potential still holding up, because SRP somehow has hidden plans, like hidden moon plans. I see SRP being one of the big altcoins that will explode in 2021, because if you look at the accumulation that has been going on for quite a very long time, you know that something is going on, something is cooking. The news, buy the news, everybody's selling the news. Be greedy when people are fearful. And right now, I see SRP playing that card clear on the table, right? If this was truly a retest, it is likely going to break up, and the force of the breakout on this zone is going to be very strong, right? So it's likely it's going to move up and then move sideways below this resistance and try to break above it. So, and once it goes below it, it's not going to come to retest lower any longer, but rather it will take this our resistance now turning to support, is going to become the next support. That's around that 0.34, 0.32 zone, right? At worst 0.3 zone, it becomes the new support. Right now, it is trying to climb back up to the support, right? It pierced through it, and you can see it retracted back upward, forming a bullish engulfing. So if price comes here and make a higher low, it means like our market structure has changed, right? So if you look here, from here, market structure changed and started making higher, lower lows, right? You see lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and price kept making lower lows. But instantly when we got to this point, I am expecting to see a higher low, right? It will confirm our buy entry. It will confirm this support. It will confirm this green trend line that the price has been respecting for quite some time. It will confirm the fact that we still have that bull strength hidden in XRP, right? And the whales are waiting to buy the sell-off. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe so that you wouldn't miss any of our daily life analysis, right? We also make videos, courses on how to trade Bitcoin futures, crypto futures, altcoin futures, anything future leverage trading. We make videos on how to trade them, and we also make live stream analysis on altcoins that has great potentials. And this Boxing Day, we are spending it with XRP. We're spending it with XRP because I see one coin right now that is hidden in the eyes of the public. What is hidden inside? Everybody is right now is on the sell-off. Everybody is trying to sell XRP. And that is when you should be buying.